Testing 1, 2, 3. 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 Testing 1, 2, 3.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the May Board of Education meeting. Carrie, when you are ready, can you please call roll?
Mr. Baden?
Here.
Mrs. Hopkemeyer? Here. Ms. McKnight?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Stamm?
Here.
All right, can we please rise, say the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. All right, next item on our agenda is number 2, the Board of Education minutes. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Which one was raised by Board Member Mike Stamm. Apparently, his name was misspelled in last month's meeting.
It's not a problem. My name.
Other than that, do we have any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Lindsay motions, do I have a second?
I will second.
And Chuck? And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stamm?
Yes.
All right. Item number 3, Superintendent's update.
Thank you. First, we're going to have Matt Yarder come up and with his team and present on his new business.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for having us here. This is an exciting time for us and our family business. My name is Matt Yarder. I'm with the Yarder Manufacturing Company. So I want to give an update on a big project we have coming to this community. Today, I just want to go over kind of who we are, our history a little bit, what this project is, and then kind of what that means for our relationships with the school board here in the community of Monclova and Anthony Wayne. We are a sheet metal manufacturer. We have been in business, my great-grandfather started it in the early 1900s. So we've been around for a long time in the Toledo community, Toledo region, Northwest Ohio community. Our current location is on Phillips Avenue by Mancy's Steakhouse. Been a great location for us. We've been there for, I think we moved in there in the 40s. We have just outgrown it. We have gone from Phillips to Sylvania. We've gone east to west. We take up the whole block. We just keep growing. And we needed a plan for the next 4 generations of our company and our business. And this is our mission. We are family owned, as I said, and we're family oriented in our operations. Profits don't always decisions, people do. And I think you'll see that through the history of our company. That's how we've always done things. And the way we do it is we use metal. We just like using it in a way that's responsible for our company and the communities and our customers that we engage with. A couple stats on our company. I didn't do it. A couple stats on our company, as I said. So I keep forgetting this. My cousin, who's our current president, he's got some college-age daughters that have worked with us over the summer. So we're technically 5th generation in our existence. Established in 1927. That's a little fuzzy from some of our records, but that's the farthest back that we can find information on. Currently, about 65 employees, and as I said, our current facility is about 50,000 square feet. It's the max capacity that we have. We do have a global customer base, so that's been kind of fun to watch grow over the years. We do have a great customer base locally in the tri-state area, but we also bring in quite a bit of work from California to Minneapolis, Pennsylvania, Maryland, all over the country, and a lot of those customers are global in their presence. So we ship to Europe, we ship to Mexico. So it's been interesting to watch our products grow over the years. It's sheet metal fabrication, OEM parts, products to customer specifications. They design stuff, they tell us how they want it made, and we make it to their specifications. and we've always been involved in the community. As I said, our niche is custom quality sheet metal parts. What does that mean? What does that look like? People are visual. Here's some of our products that we make parts for. Change Machines, top left, that's a local company. They're off Angola Road. Trinair, they're out at the airport, here at the Toledo Express Airport. And then the other companies, we make a lot of components for them. Those are farther reach, in the Minnesota area, Pennsylvania, all kinds of different industries that we service. And again, I said this earlier, I mean, the metal parts are what pays the bills, but it's not what gets me out of bed every morning. Ooh, I get to make a metal part, this is great, this is fun. No, it's giving opportunities to hardworking families and those individuals. That's what really excites us, gets us coming to work. Hey, if we do this job, if we take on this opportunity, is this gonna create more opportunities for families and their individuals? If it is, then and it's within our niche, then it's something we like to capitalize on. Some of our values, we spent a lot of work on this recently. We went back through our history, all from I could tell you some funny stories from my grandparents. What my grandfather used to do. Okay, I'll tell you a quick one. I know you want to hear it. There was a time, think of beta tapes and VHS tapes. There was, which way was it going to go? Everyone was trying to decide and make a bet on which side they wanted to go with that technology. Well, something similar for one of our original products, we made advertising frames for buses, for the sides of buses. If you see them in Chicago or Orlando or anywhere and you see a frame on a bus that's holding an advertisement, it came out of our shop. Well, there was some kind of screw that was going to attach these to the buses, and we didn't know which way it was going to go. My grandfather didn't know which, so we bought a barrel of these screws, 40,000 screws, and a different type, 40,000 screws. We weren't sure which way it was going to go. Well, it went this way, so now we had 40,000 screws of something we had no use for. So he would take them in his pocket and go to his friends and neighbors' houses, and color TVs are just coming out, and he would drop a couple behind the TV, and he'd find it, go, oh man, what is this? And it's a really unique screw. So they would spend an hour trying to figure out where it went on the back of the TV, and my grandfather just watched, and he would instigate it and encourage. So that went to my dad. That translates to a lot of, so throughout our history, we've definitely had fun ingrained in our company. And then friendly, that's the community partnerships. That's what we try to do. We spend so much time at work. We need to have an environment that is, fun to be at. And then the last one, this is a PG setting, so it's get stuff done. But we might fill in a different word for the S when we're at work. So we want to be fun, friendly, you can get some stuff done. That's my dad behind me. We were doing a photo shoot for a magazine that was coming and doing a story on us, so he always tried to make the mood add a little levity, and was giving me the bunny ears there. Again, we've been around for a long time. Just some old photos, it's good to see. It's probably an old Christmas party back in the shop days. Friendly, this is something we'll touch on a little bit later. You'll see this is a group of students that we bring in from Toledo Public Schools. We've been doing this for about 8 years now. And I'll get a little more into that story, how we got involved with them. And there's those advertising frames on the side of the bus. My grandfather there, always been open to new ideas, always been welcoming to the way to do business and partnerships in our community. And then to get stuff done, we have our workforce is getting younger, so that's part of the reason why we've been engaged with the schools and the students, that we want those, there's a lot of applications for the college-bound student, and we have some jobs, our engineers that need those, but a lot of our production jobs need the technical-minded students, those that want to tinker with things that might not be book-smart individuals, so we wanted to get to those students a little bit earlier. So that's why we work with the Toledo Public Schools and bring in their 8th grade students for these tours. So when they go into high school, they can pick career paths that might be more beneficial to their mindsets. And show them that there's career possibilities, that are neat. That advanced manufacturing is It's not dirty or scary or unsafe anymore. It's very technical, it's very clean, it's very, there's a lot of technical skills that come with, and lucrative skills that come with those technical careers. Again, just some more, our workforce is definitely getting younger, and we're training them at a younger age, encouraging them to get involved. So where's that go for the future now? So this is a project scope of what we're trying to do. This is kind of humbling to me to think about this. Don't pay too close attention. The acreage is a little off. We got to tweak that. You'll see, we'll get that corrected. But when we started this project, probably in 2014 is when we really said, we're just bursting at the seams. We need to start really thinking about where this is going to go. And at that time, it seemed daunting to go, we're going to move this whole facility with all these pieces of equipment, all these people, everything that we have to do. It just seemed impossible. Well, we've had such great success that we just said we gotta outthink what the impossible is and figure this out. So we didn't know what an acreage of land cost anywhere around town. We didn't know how much acreage we would need. And then we came to, after a long time, fast forward, we found this site here in Monclova that we really liked, but there was, like every site we found, there was some constraints to them all. Some of them had different obstacles that we had to solve, and this one, its main obstacle was access and the amount of land. I only needed about 20 acres, and this was 70 acres. So I had to figure out how do we leverage this? What can I do with this piece of land for a lot more acreages than we'll ever need? The 20-ish acres in that top blue area that we will be accessing and activating, we plan on initially going to about 100,000 or 100,000 square foot facility, which is double of what our current facility is. That parcel can continue to be expanded on to about 250,000 square feet, so it'll be about 5 times of what we currently have. So there's a lot of expansion for us, because I don't want to move again. If we have to move again, then that's generations below me that have to worry about that. But then the other parcels, what do we do with those? So we got to this, it's kind of neat to think that our little project became a catalyst to something much bigger for this community. And now we were able to leverage, Brian Geffey's here with Mosier Construction. They're our partner in on this property, and they're going to do the construction for it. And their team has been really integral in locating a lot of grant funding and state funding for us. So that's also very humbling to be able to say, we're not just, it's not just private dollars that we're investing into this community. We got state funding to help activate this space. So we're leveraging about $800,000 of state grants to build this road piece right here. This is where the end of the road stops, River Ford Drive. That's the stub of the road. The funding we got from the state will extend it into that cul-de-sac, so it'll be private dollars from us plus the state funding to activate this site, so we can bring in the utilities, the road, for our location. And that also now gives us potential for 2 to 3 other businesses of our size to bring to this area. So this is going to completely activate a space that was minimally activated through the farmland prior to this. And the reason that kept staying not active was because of the access to the whole site. There was a couple long, narrow sections of farm fields that were not conducive to a project like this unless it had an overall kind of picture to it like we put together with this. So that's the scope of the project. We're hoping to go from 65 employees in the first 3 years to close to 90. That'll increase our payroll quite a bit, which will be beneficial to this board, I'm sure. And again, the activity surrounding this other acreage is already pretty hot. I've got a lot of inquiries. We've already shown the sites. It's not even technically available yet, but we've already shown the sites to several other businesses. And our hope, our real goal, which you guys will all be invited to for a June 5th groundbreaking, is to activate this space with other community partners similar to us. So we've already shown some other local family businesses some opportunities out here for this business park. And then this is kind of the last bit of my, when I say community partner, I want to share what we currently do with the schools in TPS. This started about, I don't know, I think 8 years ago. I went to TPS career fair at the, what was then the Seagate Convention Center, now the Glass City Convention Center. And we took one of our inspection arms and we were scanning the kids' hands just to draw them on the screen. It was just supposed to be a one-time go and do this event kind of thing. And I got talking to one of the teachers, and she said she would love to have more of her students experience this. So I said, well, what's stopping you? And their two obstacles were busing and food. Unfortunately, some of those students, their only meals they would get would be the meals at school. And I said, well, then I'll just pay for the bus and I'll pay for the food. So what's the other obstacle? And so that was it. And then she said, well, I have a colleague at this other school that wants to do the same thing. And I said, well, we can do probably 2 schools. We can't do every school, but so that's how it grew, and we started bringing these groups of students in once a year. And it wasn't just, to be a community partner. There's motivation in it for me too. As I said earlier, I'm trying to encourage these kids to be technically minded and think about career paths that they might not have thought about prior. But then real unique aspect to it that I wasn't anticipating, I should have, but my employees on these days when the kids came through, oh man, their jobs were no longer, I'm a production person just welding today. They were showing these kids that what they were doing was special. It was an art. And my employees just thanked me like I'd never felt this good about my job before doing this. So it was really it's so many benefits to it. I said, well, I'm going to keep doing this too. This is just it just makes a lot of sense. I think this. Let's see if this link works here. I just took a quick video of this young man welding that day he was here. See if I can do it this way. See, I came. Marshall Sun Academy. Field trip day, yard manufacturing. Davion Smooth. So that's a great example of, I don't know, let's see if I can exit out of this, of a young man who might have never thought about welding in his lifetime until we gave him that opportunity. And now hopefully when he goes from 8th grade into his high school career path, it might be something he didn't think about before. And in a couple years, they come knocking on our door, filling out applications. It's going to be pretty neat. That was just back in March. And then in April last month, this is that arm I was telling you about, scanning the kids' hands. We actually went to the school. They were having a big STEAM expo, and they had a bunch of different displays, and we took our stuff there, and we would scan the kids' hands, and it would draw shapes on the computer. You can see in the bottom left, they're watching what their hands look like. So it's something that's part of our company. It's how we want to be players in the communities in which we work. We've been around here for over 100 years, and we plan on being around for 100 more in a new home here in Monclova. So, any questions?
Thank you. Welcome to the community. That's awesome. I work in Monclova as well as a fireman, so I'll see you over there, but hopefully never for
Yeah,
danger, but,
not for
no,
not
it's a
for any of
great
that stuff.
community. You're
Yeah.
going to be very happy in this district. It's awesome. Welcome.
What's the time frame?
Oh, time frame. As I alluded to earlier, we're going to be breaking ground. Actually, I think it kind of technically broke today. They moved some dirt. They moved some dirt today for the road. An official ceremony June 5th to announce the overall development plans, and if everything goes smoothly and according to plan, we're hoping late summer, early fall to get into this construction season yet for our building, which then about a year-ish, so late summer, early fall of '25, we'd be able to start winding down our current facility and activating this new one.
By chance, is the kid that learned how to weld looking for a job? We're looking for welders.
Well, as soon as he's of age, probably, yes, yes.
Gotcha. That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. I was able to go to the Junior Achievement Fair last week where they had almost 3,000 students from Northwest Ohio come in, Glass City Center, manufacturing, trades, all kinds of different groups. And it's always good to get kids involved and hands-on, right, to see what they can do. And I can remember taking groups of kids to Kennemetal and businesses in Waterville and, giving them those experiences and seeing that manufacturing has changed. And that's what I see when you show us those pictures is it's not what they may think, and getting them in there and giving them exposure, I think, is critical, for some kids to help make their decisions about what they want to do.
Yep.
So I appreciate you coming in and sharing that with us, because now we can make those connections to another organization in our community that
Absolutely,
we
yeah.
have kids get exposed to, so we appreciate that.
Yep, we've got experience in it. We like doing it, so if we can stay engaged and involved with this, we would love to.
Great.
Fantastic.
Thank you. That's all good. Okay, the next item, implementation of the expenditure reductions for 24-25 school year. And I started to think about what I wanted to say in regards to that, and I just typed it out. So I'm going to read this and then talk about it a little bit. As we navigate the challenges presented by our economic climate, it is with great concern that we must implement expenditure reductions within our school district. These measures have been carefully considered and are necessary to ensure the long-term sustainability of the remaining educational programs while maintaining fiscal responsibility. While we understand that these reductions may cause concerns within our community, it is critical to acknowledge the broader context in which these decisions are made. With the lack of revenue and ever-increasing demands, we are faced with tough choices to safeguard the quality of education we provide to our students. These expenditure reductions will undoubtedly impact various parts of our operation, from reduction in force and the utilization of position attrition like custodians, administrators, education staff. There will be less services provided to students, parents, and the community in the upcoming school year. When you have less employees, you can't continue to provide the same level of services. When you have less services, then you can't work at the same level to attempt to achieve your mission. When the district is faced with reducing supply budgets and purchase services, it negatively impacts the achievement of our district mission. When the district implements pay to participate in athletics or potentially has to reduce supplemental positions, that has an impact on participation in extracurricular activities. And we know that that's essential for some students to be very successful in their school. The recent changes to the Anthony Wayne Financial Plan are merely a Band-Aid for the next school year. If new revenue is not secured in the 24-25 school year, then in the 25-26 school year and beyond, there'll have to be additional expenditure reductions. The quality of the level of services will continue to be diminished in the district if there's no new revenue coming in. We remain steadfast in our commitment to deliver a high-quality education that equips our students with the skills and knowledge that they need to be successful in an ever-changing world to be future-ready. Ultimately, as we talk and we go through and do some things tonight that are part of our Anthony Wayne Financial Plan, none of us want to do that. but we're sitting here charged with the responsibility to make sure that we have the resources to maintain what we still have in place. And it's difficult. And nobody's sitting here, we don't want to do this, but we know we have to moving forward. We also know that we need to put on a levy for November, and you're going to see that on the agenda tonight as well, at least taking the first steps to do that. As we've met with some employees and had to tell them that they're not going to be employed as of June 30th, none of that is fun. But we know we have to do that in order to maintain our programs moving forward. So I just wanted to share that piece with you as well. Now I'm going to switch back to the positive stuff of this past school year. And I have another written statement too, because I think I wanted to encapsulate everything that I was thinking about as I thought about this last school year and reflected upon it. As we close out this school year with 9 more school days left, which is just unbelievable to me, we must share our gratitude for all the work of our students, parents, educators, and our administrators and school employees for the outstanding accomplishments of this past school year. While a few in this community continue to want to share some negative things about the district or engage in activities that don't support the accomplishment of our district mission, we must continue to celebrate the awesome accomplishments of this past school year and the tradition of excellence that we've seen year after year after year. For years, the Anthony Wayne Local School has excelled in student academic performance and has consistently ranked in the top 10% of school districts in the state of Ohio. The district has been recognized at both the state and national level for outstanding performance in athletics, band, choir, the arts, musical performances, FCCLA, DECA, and several other extracurricular and academic areas. The district continues to hear that it's a destination location to live in Northwest Ohio based on the quality of education and the extracurricular and academic opportunities that we provide to our students. As the superintendent of this district, I am immensely proud to share with you the exceptional strides that our school has taken in preparing our students to excel towards their future goals. Our commitment to providing a comprehensive education goes beyond the traditional classroom experience and encompasses a holistic approach that equips our students with the skills, knowledge, and mindsets needed to thrive in an ever-changing world. We recognize that the landscape of education is continually evolving, and the demands placed on our students are consistently changing. Therefore, we have made it our mission to ensure that every student who walks through our doors and across that graduation stage is confident, capable, and future-ready. Our dedicated team of educators, administrators, and school district employees works tirelessly to create an environment that fosters critical thinking, empathy, adaptability, and flexibility. Through innovative teaching methods, rigorous curriculum, and a focus on personalized learning, we empower our students to explore their passions, discover their strengths, and pursue their dreams. Furthermore, we understand the importance of preparing our students for the demands of the workforce. That's why we provide ample opportunities for hands-on learning, career exploration, and real-world experiences that bridge the gap between the classroom and the workplace. Whether through career exposure programs or partnerships with local businesses and organizations that we just talked about, we ensure that our students graduate with the practical skills and knowledge necessary to succeed in their chosen fields. As we reflect on the achievements of our students, I'm continuously inspired by their resilience, ingenuity, and determination. They are the embodiment of our commitment to excellence, and I have no doubt that they will go on to make meaningful contributions to our community and beyond. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to those in our community who support our schools. Together, we are shaping the future leaders, innovators, and change makers of tomorrow. We have done a lot of great things this school year, developing relationships with kids and parents in our community, to making sure that our kids are prepared, whether they're in kindergarten for first grade, for fourth grade into fifth grade, and our building transitions into seventh grade and to ninth grade, and when they walk across that stage. We consistently outperform similar districts. We have a great thing here, and we need to celebrate that. I'm very proud that, in the last couple weeks, we've got an opportunity to share our gratitude with our staff in many different ways. And we need to continue to focus on these great things that are happening in our district. And it's a testament to the staff here and what they do for the children of this community. And we need to continue to celebrate that. So, just a little bit of what I needed to say moving forward. I'm going to turn it over to Carrie. Anything you want from me? Any thoughts on that?
No, other than just reiterating that passion and what Dr. Fritz has stated with our financial recovery plan and things like that. None of us are taking any pleasure whatsoever on what's being asked of us. But we ran for these seats. We gained these seats and are doing what the public is asking us to do, and it's hard. It's extremely difficult. But I've said it before, and I will say it 100 times over. Our staff, our administration, our custodians, our tech department, I can go on and on, are second to none. Second to none. Just with our conversations, just with the 5-year forecast, with the countless time we've put in. I wish I could thank you all individually for an extended period of time, but I mean, it's tough. You always have my support and everybody that I have behind me to support you as well, and I look forward to hopefully passing something in November and we can get back on track. But while this difficult decisions are being made, we're here for you, and wouldn't be in a better district than here. All right, I'm off my soapbox now.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, with that, we can go to agenda item number 4. Carrie, treasurer's report.
The first item on the agenda is to approve the April 2024 financials as presented. You'll notice late this afternoon, I did send the AW financials. They were done early in the month, and with the board meeting not being so early, put them in my folder and forgot, so I do appreciate Mr. Baden reaching out to me and asking me if I sent those and he misplaced them or if it was me. So unfortunately, it was me. And those are not part of the financials that you're approving, but those are just a document that I share. Under item B, I ask that you approve the many donations that are listed there. Through all the donations to the Robbie Spanbauer Scholarship Fund, they were able to award 3 scholarships to 3 students, so that is awesome. And I do want to share that we added one very late in the day, shortly before the meeting started, and that was a $2,000 anonymous donor to the Anthony Wayne High School Volleyball Fund. So that was added. It is on your screen, but I just wanted to let you know that that was physically added, and it is not on our printed agenda. But we also have the many after-prom donations received too. So as always, we are very appreciative of all donations that we receive. Next, I'm going to talk about the 5-year forecast and share, and I'm going to step over here so I can look at the screen as I speak. And I get to carry out the numbers of the words that they shared in regards to the situation that the district is currently facing. A 5-year forecast is due to the state in November and May of each year. May is usually just an update, which is, in our case, that's what this is. So last November, when we submitted our 5-year forecast, I submitted a 5-year forecast that had a deficit in the second year of the 5-year forecast. So instantly, we went into being flagged that we had a financial issue. So from that, that's when we submitted or worked on and did the financial recovery plan, which was a big task when you have 3 new members coming in, and it was a lot. And unfortunately, it's hard on us being in the district, and so we know how hard it is on you. It hasn't been fun. So, but this is the May update. So basically, what we put into the financial recovery plan has now been implemented and is included in the 5-year forecast that we will submit at the end of the month. The 5-year forecast provides 3 years of actual and 5 years of forecasted. And then it is only the general fund. So it doesn't include the permanent improvement fund, any grants, student activities, athletics, food service, bond retirement, anything. It's strictly our general fund. So I'm just going to hit on a couple topics here. And you'll be able to see all of this. I understand it's small up there, but you'll be able to see this. It'll be posted on our website in the morning, along with the assumptions included. But I'm going to start off with just highlighting some of the revenues and some of the expenditures. Just on revenue, obviously, our biggest fund is our real estate taxes. It makes up 72% of the revenue that comes into the district. In that number that you see, which is the very first line that shows our estimate this year was $32,760,000. Sorry, I can't even read that. So that includes real estate and then PUP. I call it PUP tax, personal property. I don't know. That's what it is. It's all of our utilities. I use the acronym so much, I just drew a blank on what it actually is. But those numbers are combined. So our Nexus money that we receive or don't receive is included in our real estate fund. This year, last year, Nexus short paid late in the year. So in May, we were shortchanged, so to speak. They paid less from what they paid in ~22. They paid $2.1 million in '23. They paid roughly $920,000. This year, they paid $1,298,000. They're basically paying 36.5% of whatever is being invoiced by the county auditor. They receive a property tax bill just like anybody else does. They get it twice a month, and it's due January 31st and July 31st as well. However, this year, part of that Nexus issue is it's affecting our delinquent taxes because our collection rate for real estate was pretty sound at around 97-98% for years. Then it dropped to 96%. And last year, for calendar year 23, or collection year 23, payable in '24, our collection rate is at 91.6%. So therefore, our real estate, and this doesn't even add, at this time when we were preparing the financial recovery plan, that was not really on our radar, that we were going to have less real estate taxes come into the district. So that hasn't helped matters, so we had to readjust with that. Luckily, with Nexus paying a little bit more, that helped. And then we had interest earnings that have done really well. So thankful for those two things, that they're help offsetting the loss in the revenue that we saw there. We were still down overall on our revenue received this year by about $400,000. But when I talk about the delinquencies, just to give you an example of what this means, our delinquencies in the district are $24,309,697. Of that, Nexus is $23,225,606. So all but $1,084,000 is made up of, it's almost equally split between businesses and then residential and farmland. The remaining, just over $1 million. So that is what Nexus is creating in our district. And unfortunately, and when I say that amount of money, that $23 million, that's not money we'll ever see. The reason they're paying what they are paying is so they can have their values reduced. So they are paying what they think they should owe. So this has been going on for years, and most everyone, even when they came on, you know, wasn't new to them because they've heard it before, but it's definitely been an eye-opener. It's public utility personal property tax. The PUP just came to me. So the next biggest revenue source we have is our what is called unrestricted grants and aid. That is our state foundation. That makes up 6% of our revenue. The 5-year forecast does show an increase of roughly $334,000 in '24 and then $237,000 in fiscal year '25. That came out of the biennium budget. Casino revenue, that's the only source of actual lottery, gambling, whatever revenue we actually receive to the district. So when they talk about, schools get lottery money, that comes in, that funds all the schools. The casino is the only thing that we actually receive a separate check from the state from. So, and that was even up roughly $285,000, only up a couple thousand, but every cent counts. Another thing I put in the 5-year forecast that I had to implement, this is the first thing, is the board has implemented pay to participate for fiscal year '25. So under other revenue, we are including roughly $182,820 each year starting in '25 for pay to participate. Moving on to the expenditures, and this has been the hardest thing, is the amount of reductions that we are making in the district. And even with that, the hardest thing is knowing that it's just a Band-Aid. And it's not going to solve our problem. That's why the board is going to be voting on a levy as well tonight. But with the staff attrition, reduction in force, and positions that we're not replacing, which is attrition, we're reducing $7.7 million between fringe benefits and salaries over the life of the forecast. On top of that, we implemented this year 10% reduction in our purchase service budget and our supplies. 10% doesn't sound like a lot, but our supply budget's $1,250,000. But of that, our gas bill for just our bus fleet is about $410,000. So that doesn't leave a lot of supplies, whether it's paper towels in our bathroom or papers for the copier or other educational supplies. So it's not a lot, but that's something we implemented this year and we carried out through the rest of the 5-year forecast. At the end of the day, we kind of look at what they call true cash days. How many days could our district operate? And Jim, this isn't on here, but it's in my presentation earlier if you want to bring it up. But basically, they always say 60 to 90 days true cash days is what you should be able to operate. So whether it's 3 months of payroll or whatever you want to look at, everybody has, what they think it is, but you should always have some days on reserve that you can operate. And for the last 3 years, our 3 years of history, with the exception of '23, we were always around 45 to 50 days. But right now, this year, if we got no more revenue, we could operate 14.89 days. That's it. Moving forward, the highest is next year is 5.74 days is all we could operate with no additional revenue. And that's making the cuts that we're making. So at the end of the year, we have to end it with a positive balance. And we have managed to do that through making all of these cuts. We have a positive cash balance in each of these years. It's quite significant compared to what we submitted in November, but we've made all these cuts, and I'm just touching on them. You can feel free to visit the website in the morning. You can go through and read all of them. But we have to submit a positive balance, so we do have 1.9 this year, and then moving forward each of the next years, we have minimal cash carryover. So I am going to ask that the board approve this later in the agenda, but did you have any questions or comments that you'd like to share? We've had several meetings and discussion on these, so it's I just wanted to highlight it for the community.
I think one thing that I would mention to you, I looked at the last 4 years, and our expenditures on average went up 2.7%, and our revenue went up 1.53%. And you can say, well, why didn't you balance that? Well, 2.7% expenditure increase each year on average is not much. I'd say we did a pretty good job of controlling that. But when you only have a 1.53% increase per year in revenue, that's hard, to manage. And so as we move forward, obviously that revenue number needs to increase, as well as when we look at what she's mentioning in regards to cash days, 60 to 90 is the number that is typically used from a research perspective, but we've always been able to be somewhere around 45 to 50 and feel somewhat comfortable with that number. And when we say that, you think, well, why do you need, $5 million or whatever that number may be, or $6 million, because why do you need that kind of reserve? Well, like in 2006, 7, and 8, when we went through the housing market change and the economy tanked and we were getting cut from the state and so forth, you want to have those reserves because you just never know as you move forward, right, that you might have to tap into those reserves and use those to maintain what you have versus having to make drastic cuts right there and then, within a short time frame. It's just being fiscally responsible. And so we always tried to be somewhere in that general ballpark of, between 40 to 50 days, and now being down to 14 and then into the 5, that's obviously not very good. I also mentioned too, Nexus, there's no way they're going to give us $23 million in back taxes, or to other districts for that matter. And at some point, the legality will be worked out, and hopefully we get more than what we're getting now. But, even, I'll take it a step further, you minus out the 23 million of taxes that haven't been paid, and there's another million or so there that haven't been paid, that you can see how right now, it's really affecting us. And anybody can go on the auditors, or contact the auditors, or not, the auditor's office, and find out, what properties are not paying their taxes. I think you'd be surprised. So, ultimately it has an effect on where we're at right now, moving forward.
Anything else? Good. So with that, I would ask that the board approve the May 2024 5-year forecast update as presented. Under item D is to approve our group rating with Sedgwick for our workers' compensation for the program year January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 at a cost of $2,100. The district has been with a company called Shakely for years. And I didn't really feel, I've never felt like it made sense fiscally, it made sense to make a change. However, this year when our group rating came through, and it was a difference of like $9,500 in savings. So I just felt that it was time to make a change. And it took me all till Friday afternoon to make that decision, and even though it seemed like a no-brainer, just because sometimes it's like, oh, am I making the right decision? But it was reassured today. So I felt like we made the right decision. So when the board pays, like their percentage of retirement on employees and their share of Medicare, well, we pay a workers' compensation too. So the lower that number is, the more savings that could be had. It's not significant, obviously, $9,500 isn't savings, but it's, every penny counts.
Everything helps.
So I just felt it was the right thing to do, so that will be a change for the district. Next item is to approve that I deduct one meetings pay from each board member for the Flower Fund on the July 2024 pay date. And goes for if we have a deceased employee or past employee, I will send flowers on behalf of the board from you, so that's taken care of. Under item F is the resolution of necessity. This is to levy an additional tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation held on November 5th, 2024. I will send this resolution to the county auditor, and they will certify the millage. We're looking at 3.3 million for 5 years again. This would be the same as it was in March. There's no change. There was change from the November to March because we reduced some things with the building or the bond levies not passing as well. But this would be the same. This is step 1 of 2. Once I get that information back from the county auditor, I would bring it back to you for you to approve the resolution to proceed. And then after that, everything is due to the Board of Elections by August 7th to ensure that we are on the ballot. So I would likely be bringing that back to you at the June regular board meeting. And then the last item I have is the renewal of our gap basis reporting. This would be for fiscal year 24, 25, and 26 at a cost of $21,000. That's $7,000 a year, only billable each year. It's a $400 savings each year to sign a multi-year contract, but I would never want to lose our spot with them. So I would recommend that the board approve for 3 years. And that is all I have.
We have any questions for Carrie? Comments, concerns? If not, I need a motion to approve. Shelley, and a second?
I'll second.
Second. And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stamm?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, item number 5, superintendent's educational reports.
Thank you. First item are overnight trips. We have 5 listed there at this time. Item B, educational agreements. There are 2 listed there for individual students with specific needs. Item C, textbook adoption. That was a discussion amongst the curriculum committee. Do you guys want to make any comments on that this time?
Shelley, did you want to say anything about the curriculum?
For the Spanish texts, I thought it was a great presentation by that staff. I do like the fact that this is more not for kids who are going to become Spanish teachers, but who will be conversant in Spanish should they go to a speaking country. And I think that's a great difference in trend toward teaching languages now. I thought it was well done.
And tonight, we're just doing the social studies, so, right?
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, okay, because
yeah, and-
that hasn't been put on yet, then, the
Yeah,
Spanish.
yeah.
Okay.
We did that one at our last meeting, the
Yes.
Spanish one, but this one, Mrs. Karshner, am I saying her name right?
Yes.
She did a great job presenting it, and she just talked about how they wanted like an anchor curriculum moving forward into high school.
Correct.
The 7th grade was also given that option, but liked kind of the way things were going with them right now. But for the 8th grade, they saw a need for that and a benefit for that. Moving forward then into the high school, the curriculum looked great, interactive, all sorts of things. Yeah, I think it says here, the McGraw-Hill. And Mr. Connor has a great relationship with McGraw-Hill, and so really excited and confident moving forward with that textbook.
And a lot of the information is individualized, so any individualized instruction can be readily available for the students. I thought that was great for the special ed kids. So it was a great presentation as well.
Item D, student handbooks. I had shared with you the changes that were in there. They're very minimal for this next year. Item E, school and athletic fees. Almost all of them, they're the same. There's a few changes at the high school level, but the rest of the levels, I think they were the same. Item F, we have the seniors for graduation. It's always an exciting time to approve them, roughly 369 or so, I think, is the number that will get to experience on Saturday. Make sure we get you some information for that before you leave tonight, too. But yeah, we'll get to go through that, and it's such a great day to watch those kids walk across the stage. Item G, transportation request, we just had one at this time for payment in lieu. So I'd ask that you approve A through G unless you have questions at this time.
Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I need a motion to approve.
A motion?
Lindsay, and a second.
I'll second.
And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
Yes,
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stom?
Yes.
All right, then moves on to superintendent's personnel recommendations.
Thank you. Resignations and retirements as listed there. As you see, we appreciate the service of those individuals to the school district. Item B, employment. You see that we're replacing some of those individuals. You saw above there as well. We're always happy to hire another bus driver. We have several positions that are open at this time, so it's good to hire one as well. And we're excited about our new teachers that we're hiring into the district to fill open positions. Item C, volunteer positions as listed. We always thank those individuals who are volunteering to serve in our school district. Item D, substitute employees. Most of this is related to summer and the work that we do with our students. Item E, continuing contracts. It's that time of year where we do a lot of the, if you're up for a contract or you're up for a continuing contract, we're asking that you approve those in item E and item F. Item G, same thing, administrative contracts as listed. Those are individuals who are up at this time for administrative contracts. And then H is contract amendments that we're recommending at this time. And I'd ask that you approve A through H in one motion unless you have questions.
On the list here for volunteers, I was thinking that there was a coach that was supposed to
Yeah,
be.
that was removed for today because he's still got to do some other things
Okay.
before we get that officially.
Okay.
Yep.
Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
And a second.
I'll second.
And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
Yes,
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stom?
Yes.
And we will do most of the supplementals at the June 3rd meeting. So
Okay.
that's when we'll probably have that taken care of.
Okay.
Item I are classified contracts. Once again, these are people who are up for contract at this time, and we're asking that you approve them for the next contract cycle. So I would ask that you approve that item.
I need a motion to approve.
A motion?
And a second.
I will second.
And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
yes,
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stom?
I will abstain.
Next item is reduction in force. Upon a recommendation from me, the superintendent, I recommend to the board approve a resolution to suspend non-teaching contracts through the reduction in force as attached. And those are the 4 custodian positions. We had 2 custodians who resigned. So that would be our total of 6 positions that are being reduced at this time total. So at this time, I'd ask that you approve that item unless you have questions.
If we have questions or comments, if not, I need a motion to approve.
I will move to approve.
And a second.
I will second.
And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
yes,
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stom?
Yes.
I'll also mention too, if you remember in the plan, there was a media center position at Fallen Timbers. That person's being transferred into another position that was open based on resignation. So I just wanted to mention that at this time. Item K is suspension of contract. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent, I recommend to the board approve a resolution to suspend administrative contract per board policy 1540 as attached. Ultimately, as we have in the Anthony Wayne Financial Plan, this is the Director of Technology position. So I'd ask that you approve this at this time.
Any questions or comments? If not, a motion to approve?
Would you mind, because you did it in our email, just in case people are watching, because some people might be like, oh my goodness, we're getting rid of Director of Technology, and we have so much, like, technology is such a big, obviously, aspect of our learning. I thought you did a good job in your email pointing out that you talked to those other tech individuals.
Yeah, so ultimately, as I shared with the board, I believe our district, the size that we are, we need a Director of Technology. The reality of it is as I mentioned earlier, we had to make some tough decisions on cost-saving measures across the district. And one of those was the reduction, basically suspension of the Director of Technology position. Those responsibilities ultimately, as we discussed, would rest with the superintendent's position. But also, more importantly, we have 3 technicians who do a fabulous job in our district. Working with them and trying to understand how do we move forward, I think it's going to be important, as Nikki's here tonight, and our other 2 technicians. They do a fabulous job, and it's going to be important to work with them, also to work with Nawaka, who is our A site, especially as they're the ones right now who are helping us with going through and looking at cyber attacks and what can we do to stop those types of things, ransomware, and so forth, from a cybersecurity standpoint. Because all of that's important moving forward. And so I'm confident that we're going to try to do the best job we can moving forward with the area of technology. We appreciate Chris and the service that he's provided to the district over the last 11 years or so that he's been working here. Unfortunately, this is another situation that none of us want to be involved in. But from a financial standpoint, it's something that when we tried to reduce our expenditures, we focused on trying to reduce the impact on the classroom specifically. And through all of those decisions, this was one that we had to make, so. Yeah.
Thank you.
With that, I would need a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve.
And a second.
I will second.
And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
No.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stamm?
Yes.
All right, with that portion, would move us to item 7 on our agenda, which would be recognition of visitors, but we did not have any that requested to speak today. So with that, we would be adjourning if we have a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
So move. And a second?
I will second.
Mike second. And Carrie, when you are ready.
Mr. Baden?
Yes.
Mrs. Hapkemeyer?
Yes.
Ms. McKnight?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Stamm?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.